Welcome back to Paradise Strength. My name is Stanley, and today we're going to be reviewing a shoe, actually, the Reebok Lifter PR. Let's get right to the video. We got the Reebok Lifter PR. I got these probably about 2 years ago, actually, for Christmas. And my wife got them for me, and these replaced the shoes that I was using before. And I don't necessarily know if they're not generic brand, but they're a less known brand. They're called something that I don't know. Hopefully I can bring a picture up here. But anyway, I am going to tell you the benefits that I found out of these lifting shoes and lifting shoes in general. So if you guys are curious, I am a weightlifter and I love weightlifting, or Olympic weightlifting, as some of you might say. Having a heel raised shoe is super important for doing these types of lifts. When you're doing a snatch and clean and jerk, when you're doing overhead pressing, when you're doing overhead squats, when you're doing all of those things that regard weightlifting in itself, these are super important. I have seen people actually lifting in tabbies. I've seen people lifting barefoot. I've seen people lifting in flats. There's so many different types of shoes, but for the most weightlifters, if they're seriously competing and they've hit big numbers, they usually have a shoe that has like a hard, solid, flat bottom and a heel raise, just because it also helps with the mobility when you're overhead for these positions. There's a few things that I look for in a shoe. First, something that we should look for in all shoes is just comfortability, and how comfortable is it to wear this shoe? Is it comfortable? So for me, these shoes are 11? I wear probably 10.5 to 11. And so I would say they're relatively comfortable. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. Comfortable meaning I can wear them for a long period of times. They don't hurt my feet at all. But what I found is that these shoes specifically for me are a little big on me. Even if I wear 10.5 or 11, the heel likes to slip out slightly. And I don't know if that's necessarily how most weightlifting shoes are, because I have a few friends that have other types of weightlifting shoes and tell me that their heel can't stay in the shoe. So that might just be a weightlifting shoe kind of thing, or maybe it's just the wrong type of shoe for you or the wrong size. 7 out of 10, comfortability. For me, my heel slips out sometimes. It's really easy to like slip off my feet. It's still really comfortable while wearing. I actually, when I'm training some days, I do a lot of just walking around and all that stuff, and I train clients, and then sometimes in the middle of my clients, I'll do some weightlifting, and I'll train them. When they come in, I'm already in these, so I just kind of stay in them. I just training them for maybe a couple more hours, and they've been really nice actually for comfortability wise. I mean, I haven't wore this for like a whole day, but for a few hours at a time, they're really comfortable and they're really solid. So the bottom is really hard, really solid. There's not a lot of flex to the shoe. You don't want it to be too soft, because then you can cause a lot of injury problems. But comfortability wise, it's great. I would say 7 to 8 out of 10. And yeah, it's not bad. So next we're going to be talking about the laces and the tying up the shoe. So there's two things about weightlifting shoes that most weightlifting shoes have. They have a Velcro strap here. Let me see if I can do this. Velcro strap here, and then also a pair of laces. So you would loosen up, and then you would tie the laces first, obviously, and then you would go and strap the sucker in. I don't necessarily know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't necessarily know why they have the strap in. Maybe it's for extra support in the shoe and makes it feel like the shoe is on there, especially if the heel can come off really easily. It is pretty comfortable, it's pretty easy to use. It is for this shoe specifically, these are the laces that came with it. They're kind of obnoxiously long, and the strap is really sturdy, and I haven't had any problems with the Velcro ripping off or anything like that. For the most part, most of the time, once I have my shoe locked in, as in like the shoe is tied and it fits my foot well, and then I can put the Velcro over the laces, and it doesn't feel like it's like squeezing my foot, I can slip my foot in and out of this pretty well without it feeling uncomfortable to try and put back on. Like I wouldn't necessarily need to remove the Velcro and the laces and then redo it again. Sometimes I do, but not always. But other than that, I feel like it's a pretty common style to have lace and then also a Velcro to come over the top, probably to give it a little bit extra stability and possibly to keep the shoe on better, because if the heel likes to slide out, you want to keep the shoe on, especially when you're weightlifting and putting hundreds of pounds, hundreds of kilos over your head. So, okay, next is the heel height. So I'm gonna guess this is a good, probably like 1.25 inches. I haven't measured it. I haven't checked the stats because I don't really care to check the stats. I'll just kind of eyeball it. So around 1.25 inches. And I think that's pretty tall. It doesn't need to be much taller than that. My mobility is like pretty decent, so I can snatch in flat shoes and still have a pretty good overhead position. If you are somebody that lacks mobility and have problems with mobility, a higher heel height might be beneficial for you. But if you are a normal person that doesn't have those issues, somebody that has decent mobility in their shoulders and their hips and their knee, all of that stuff, right? If you have decent mobility, you don't necessarily need higher than 1.25 inches. But if you have bad mobility issues or you have mobility problems, you might be benefiting from having a higher heel height. So I would say the heel height is great. For me, it's perfect. It doesn't feel too high, but it also doesn't feel like I'm still wearing flat shoes. It feels like I'm wearing a different shoe, so it's really ideal for that. 15mm heel height. Reebok Training Stability Harness. Yeah. So heel height, 15mm. So whatever that is in compared to inches, this is not bad. So overall, a decent shoe. I would, if you are looking for a shoe to buy, this is actually a decent shoe and the price is pretty worth it. I think it's under $100 something. Maybe it's like 120, but that's pretty decent for a weightlifting shoe, especially if you're just starting to get started into weightlifting or doing anything with Olympic weightlifting. Getting a shoe that's no more than 150 is probably fine. Just try not to get something that's like under 80. Usually as you get lower and lower in price, it gets pretty bad. So this is a very good entry shoe for beginners, intermediates. If you're an advanced lifter, I'm sure you're probably using a little bit more pricey shoes, $200, $300, even $400+ or not. All in all, it comes to preference, what you prefer in a shoe. Do you prefer a higher heel height? Do you prefer a more comfortable fitting shoe? Do you prefer a wider toe box? Do you prefer all of these things? What do you prefer specifically? And that will help you determine, and obviously budget, those things will help you determine what shoe you should be buying. So this was the Reebok Lifter PRs. If you guys want one, I'm gonna put a link down below. I'm not sponsored, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just gonna put the link there just because to help you guys. So get it, don't get it. Thanks for watching the video. If you guys wanna see more videos like this, reviewing equipment, reviewing shoes, anything like that, I would love to do those things for you. Love you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.